Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to my study on the banks of the Shannon, and just a video with respect of my comments, which seem to have stirred up a hornet's nest, a new low, according to the happy hippie, narcissist poison, according to the ever reliable George Street Bridge. Well, they're all entitled to their opinion, and I don't object to them expressing it. Matter entirely for them. However, I'm going to post up, this video is going to contain the two reasons why I believe the club themselves and the people of Newport and the Newport community down very badly yesterday in what should have been a great day. A good day anyway, because we were hosting a Premiership side or a Premier League side, and a great day because we won the match, and it was a great game. I enjoyed watching it on the television, and so it is regrettable that these things are dealt with at a time when we all should be celebrating. But I do find it difficult to celebrate for two reasons. Not the victory, I absolutely was over the moon about that, but no, the behaviour of the club is such that it's very difficult for me not to feel a deep sense of regret. Shame, I think, on behalf of the club, but regret, and a personal regret. And for two reasons. First of all, the lies being told by the club about the game selling out. The club's position, as confirmed by Kevin Ward on the message board last night, is this. Newport County only had 6,880 tickets or whatever to sell because they'd only allocated Leicester 1,030. They had to allocate Leicester 15%, and 15% as a ratio of multiplied up comes to 6,880, or what about that figure. Also, that the tickets sold exactly to the number that were on sale. Nobody missed out, it would appear. Nobody who wanted a ticket didn't get one. We'll come to that later. And while tickets were available on Saturday night, lo and behold, the last one had appeared, so went just before the shop was due to open on Sunday morning to sell any remaining tickets. Clearly, why Newport County didn't have the stadium at its football maximum of 7,800 and 50 by the simple expedience of giving Leicester another 150 tickets, which would have freed up 850 further tickets for Newport supporters, is a mystery. Well, it isn't, and the reason it isn't a mystery is this is a straightforward lie being perpetrated by the club. It's not the first time the club have done this. The most regrettable before that, I think, because it involved a legend and a person I've got enormous respect for, but when David Hando said, well, Newport County have cleared the historic debt, isn't that wonderful? When in fact what Newport County had done is just paid off old debtors by making fresh borrowing, and that was omitted from the information given to the supporters and owners of the club. Put it mildly, the club have previous for just lying, basically. There's no other way of putting it. I'm not going to get too bogged down in that, though. Everybody lies. They do it to save themselves embarrassment. They do it because it seems a quick way of avoiding a difficult situation. And if I were to tell you that I've never lied, I'd be lying. And that is true of every single one of you watching this video. So let's not get too tied up in that. However, the lie itself was a stupid one because it is so easily seen through. But what I was far more disappointed in, and the reason that I am quite exercised about this, is simply this. I'd like to take you back, if I may, to when I first started watching Newport County in 1967. Now, in the 51 and a half years since the game I'm going to talk about, yesterday was the first time that Newport County had in fact knocked a first tier, whether it be Old First Division or Premier League or Premiership. First time that Newport had done that since the Sheffield Wednesday game, and that was 3 years before I started supporting Newport County. In short, a victory of the merit that we achieved yesterday is once or twice in a lifetime experience. It is very, very rare, and perhaps because of its rarity, all the more magical. Now, Newport County are supposed to be a club which is part of the community. Football with a future. Our club, supporters owned. So let's go back to September 1967. I am 9 years of age. I am a football fanatic, and unlike most of my classmates who supported Everton or Liverpool or Manchester United or Leeds, who were the big clubs back in the late 1960s, Chelsea, I think Arsenal as well, I was a Newport County supporter. And all, when we played football, at the weekends, at nights, all the kids would have their Everton shirts, or you could have it an Everton shirt or an Ipswich shirt, didn't matter, they could just have a blue and white shirt, or your Manchester United shirt, and I was probably the only kid that, well, maybe one or two, wore a black and amber shirt. I was a Newport County fanatic. Second game I ever saw, and I think the game that encompasses everything that is magical for me, was against Blackpool in the League Cup. It was a Tuesday night, and I don't have that many memories of it. I remember, because the first game I'd ever seen was the week before against York City, and I remember my father, who didn't like football, saying, "Don't think I'm going to take you every week." I remember getting to the ground and having to queue up for a long time to get in. I remember battling through to the old railway end, where we finally found a place where I could actually see the pitch. I can remember the Blackpool won 1-0. I can remember a Newport County player in the middle of the pitch catching a ball which had been a through ball from a Blackpool player, catching it. He'd get sent off for it nowadays. I don't think he was even booked back then. I can remember Newport nearly scoring on quite a few occasions, and I remember my father bumped into somebody he knew on the way out, and talking to him. And that's all I can remember. But I do remember how I felt, and that was the absolute magic of being in a huge crowd. It was over 13,000 people. Of being part of a community, of cheering along with men. I suppose most of the people there would have been men, but being part of something bigger than myself. Or some people get that, I suppose, from political activism or religion or whatever. And it was a really great feeling. Now, let's be quite clear about it. Blackpool were a second division side. Leicester were first Premier League. Blackpool were playing us in the League Cup. Yesterday was in the FA Cup. Blackpool won, Newport lost. Yesterday, Newport won and Leicester lost. But despite all of that, the being there was so electric. And I know this sounds kind of new age and whatever, it's not meant to be, but it really was. The atmosphere, the electricity, the sense of belonging was something that I can still feel now, 51, I'm an old man now. But when I think about that for the shortest of moments, I'm a young boy again. And it was a magic that I can't believe to express. Just think how you felt yesterday, those of you fortunate enough to be there as adults, watching County beat Leicester. But that is as nothing to how the kids, the 9, 10, 11-year-old lads who were there, how they felt being part of that crowd yesterday when the final whistle went. Somewhere in Newport, and I suspect in more than one place in Newport, there will have been conversations in the week after Christmas which went along these lines. Look, I simply can't afford. We had an expensive Christmas. I can't take you if I don't take your brother. And I really can't afford the cost because the prices are being put up anyway. And the game's on the television. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll watch the game on the television together and we'll get a takeout and we'll really enjoy it, yeah? And it would have been good. It would have been very good for those kids watching on the television. I'm sure they enjoyed it enormously. But they may very well, very probably, never get the chance to see Newport beat a first-tier team again. And they will almost certainly not get the chance in their lifetime to see it actually happen again. Now, I think it was Michael, earlier on when this topic was being discussed, who said, you just don't get it, do you? Well, George and the happy hippie, who are you? Percy Plunkett et al. You see, if you don't get the fact that for those kids who were priced out of the game yesterday, what they've missed out on. So as Newport County, even on the best reading of it, could make a few extra bob, then you don't get it. If you don't get, because most of you will be like me, fortunate in life, if you don't get what it's like to be a father who says to his children, look, I'm sorry, I just can't afford to take you to that game. Yeah, you just don't get it. And to paraphrase Don McLean, I don't suppose you ever will. And that is why I am disappointed in my club. That is why I think it does matter. And whether you agree or not, there'll be a comments button below. Please feel free to comment.